Hi, everyone. My name is Jim Lal-Tabak. I'm a yoga teacher, energy healer, health and wellness coach. And thank you for coming. And it's been a day, for a lot of things that are happening in the world and in people's lives. Life keeps happening and changes. So, I wanted to talk about, in some ways, it's coming up with making peace with our inner and outer world. And I was talking about, letting our senses be the teacher. Um, and Oh, also want to welcome anyone on Facebook Live that is tuning in, and you can direct message me there or go to my website, bodymindmedicine.com, just so we can connect if you feel like that's something you want to do. Um, and so one of the things that I just was thinking about is in part of making peace with the internal external is don't get upset. It's a little vegetable, and this is called a sunchoke or Jerusalem artichoke. And the reason I brought it as a little example, it's from our farmers market, but it's kind of strange looking if you've never seen one. But you eat it raw. So you peel it and eat it raw. And once enough people come on, I have a list of all what's called a prebiotic. A prebiotic are fibrous plants that promote growth of beneficial bacteria, and they contain soluble fibers, particular inulin and fructooligosaccharides. That's a mouthful. And so, but the point is, there are we have symbiotic relationships with certain microbiome, little bacteria, and we have others. We have this. They're considered, bad bacteria, but they have a purpose in the world, just like mold does. And mold for us can be really toxic, but out in nature, if we didn't have the mold, we wouldn't have decay of wood and other plants, and then it would just build up. So all these things are naturally contributing to our biosphere. And so this is a segue into, why what how do we determine what is bad and what is good? I mean, it's like, oh, it's hard because, when people suffer, we think bad, suffer bad, peaceful, relaxed, good. But there are times, and I relate that to my own experience, when fire purifies, when pain purifies. It doesn't feel good at the moment. It feels horrible and it feels really bad. And so basically, but the point is, I'm going to take care of a couple people here. Yeah. So the point is that initial experience gets imprinted into our being, and then it gets carried on into the future, into the present. And so we've made this association without even, I mean, because that's what happens. It's our experience. It's what we know. And the what I want to talk about is how we need to um, disconnect some of that. Not so everything, because we want to, some things keep us safe when we, if it's a dangerous substance, for example, a toxic substance, we want to stay away from it. And that's passed down generation to generation. Oh, that smells bad, things like that. But when we keep holding on to things that perhaps actually served us in some way that we could learn from, instead of just running away from and hiding from it. So that's what I'm kind of trying to get to. I hope it's clear enough. And what would like to do in this treatment is we'll start with something not too traumatic, for sure. But oftentimes what I do with clients is we go back and find something that is difficult, and then clear that, so it's not following us for the rest of our life and making us make decisions that perhaps don't serve us. So there is a practice involved in this, that we stop making judgments about what has happened. But it's a practice. It's something, that you can do in real time. You can have self-talk that says, I'm not sure if this, why did this happen? What can I learn from this? And so part of the theme of this is learning from our senses. So almost everything we get, some of it's internal, but we get information from our senses. And sometimes with judgment, we decide, oh, I really don't want this, right? And then maybe looking back over it, re-examining it, you find out, well, I got something out of that. And that's kind of how I relate this to my near-death experience, where 2 weeks of utter no sleep, utter agony, and then my life just went on a different path than where I was. And it did take some healing on that path, but it's still my humility, judgment of other, a lot of things. It's a process, but it really did set me on a new course. And so now I look back, and it's not anymore, oh, that was such a horrible experience anymore. It's like, oh, that is a major pivot point that changed my life. And so I'm grateful for it now, even though, I can still go back there and say, wow, that was really hard. That was really scary. And now I'm not scared anymore. I see it as this opportunity to really change and grow. And so what I'm suggesting is, I'll be doing some energy clearings on the connection to something that you will think about. So what I'm going to ask you to do, and I'm going to, right now, I'm going to put in the chat before I go any further, a list of all the prebiotics, because prebiotics are there, and I wanted to say one more thing. Sorry, I'm jumping back, but prebiotics, you should eat not a lot. Don't eat a lot, because your body's not used to it, and you have to have the right microbiome to metabolize the prebiotic. So you want to start off small amounts, little at a time, on a regular basis. So there it is. It's a list of a lot of raw foods and other things that could be helpful. So if you want to copy that in the chat. You're welcome to. So, but the point I'm going back to is that we need to make peace with our experiences, forgive and not blame, and grow from, learn that we can have a learning experience on just about everything that comes our way. And learning to do that is really essential in making a full life. So, so I want to ask you to reach back in your mind and see if there's something in your memory that perhaps you find that was not a happy experience, so to speak, or was not, it was difficult. And then I'm going to do some energy clearing on those things, hopefully to reorganize energetically how you feel about it. So only you will be able to know if there is a shift. I'm not, I'm not like monitoring all that. So you can pay attention to it. But first, what I'm going to ask you to do is see if you can, and you don't have to go there if you don't want to. You can even think about something happening right now that is considered traumatic, and see if you can have some kind of physical experience of it in your body when you think of it. So it can be either the past or the present and even the future. But, the idea is that we take in our information through our senses, hear, sight, sound, and so forth. And then what do you sense or feel in your body from when you think about those things, right? So once you get that, and I'm going to start clearing some of that energetically. Don't think about it anymore, because it's not polite to stare. So don't stare at things. Just simply become aware of it. Feel in your body if you have any kind of gut reaction or physical sensation because of what you're thinking about, and then don't think about it anymore. So just think about anything else. Think about, warm weather or something. I don't know. Or where, a nice meal. Something, anything, doesn't matter. A piece of music you like, and anything at all. Just so you don't stay with that, where, the whole idea is experiencing it, and then I'm going to go back and see it, especially if you were able to get a physical manifestation of experience in your body from the memory or thought, because everything is from, experiences. They're all memories now after they've occurred. But if you got a physical, see it when you go back to it again, and see if it's different. See if you have a different experience in your body, or even a different way of looking at it. Now, see if there's a change. Uh-huh. Yeah, that's a good point. There is a dissociation that can happen because there's someone said they leave their body, meaning, it might be too traumatic, right? So they can't even go there. At least that's my interpretation of that statement. And so, it's better to bite off a smaller don't bite too big of an issue. Go to something a little less traumatic to start with, and see if you can experience a bodily, some kind of bodily awareness, and then see if okay. Thanks, Diane. More grounded. Let me think there. Okay. Yeah, because, the thing is, we want you to be able to find something that you can actually, you don't need to be so, you don't want to re-traumatize yourself, right? And so the practice is finding that thing that is somewhat, it's not the greatest thing, but it's not the most horrible thing that you can't even touch. So you want to find something to start with, that, especially in this kind of a setting where we're not in a individual treatment, that you don't want to deal with something that's this is a group setting, right? So we don't want to do try to get too deep. It's more of a, but we are clearing some things, and if you can go there and have an experience, then there's a possibility, and for you, Dave, I'll just clear it anyway. So, and I hear you, Angelina. Don't worry about it. We'll work on some of that as well. If you're not well, we want to. You can also just clear factors that are impacting your lack of whatever it is, immune system, or not, without having to know what it is. We may not ever know what something, what are the causes, underlying causes. We a lot of times we want to know what did this, so we don't repeat it, or so we can find a healthy solution. But sometimes there are multiple factors, and we won't know all of them anyway. So we just energetically, from a kind of a cosmic perspective, we just correct all of them. So you don't have to participate, right? You can just experience just your body. Stay in and feel your body, and if it's uncomfortable, don't stay there too long. I think she had to go anyway. Okay, I understand. Yeah. Okay, good. How we doing? Okay. Are there anyone have any questions, or can just in the chat, you can direct message me if you need to, or some people have been communicating in the chat. But you don't have to. You can simply have an experience. I'm also now going to just start sending more coherent energy into the field, so that in case we dug up a little dirt, so to speak, difficulty, we want to calm the physiology in case it didn't clear. For some people, it's amazing how it just shifts, and sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. And but the point I'm trying to make is this can become a practice where we start to have experiences and then release our judgment about them, that this is bad, this is good, this hurt me, so it's bad. No, this hurt me, and I need to learn what I can do. If it's like a boundary violation. I have either let my boundaries be violated, or I have gone out and not been put myself in an unsafe situation. So I've either I've put myself in a bound, I've crossed a boundary somewhere. And and it's not to say that someone might not, might do something that's inappropriate. And there's no, this is not a justification. This is about empowerment. How do we take actions to learn from the experience and then move ahead and forward? But if we see the color red, and red reminds us that oh, I was injured from a red car that hit me, and then every time we see a red car, we have an experience of trauma. So and I'm not going to get in that red car anymore. I'm not going to drive a red car, whatever it is. We don't want to get caught with that. We want to be able to move forward and not be caught in the thought field that something is injuring us all the time, just because it is, just because of what happened in the past. So I want to clear some of those memory sort of memory, I don't know what you want to call them, something we get caught, traps, memory traps. So it's also about, this kind of habitual thinking. So we want to clear some of that as well. So we don't fall into judgment and repetitive thought or action. So that part also can be what gets us, what causes pain and suffering, because we've get into a pattern that and it's usually something we want to we think that's going to protect us, because if I know that that's the problem, then we keep something out of our lives. And so that's just another thing. I mean, just energetically clearing. But again, back to, let's see how we do. Oh, well, we are quickly moving to the end of the treatment. So I want you to just bring your hands back and forth in front of each other and slowly bring them together, holding your hands in front of your heart, inhaling and exhaling. Turning the palms in and inviting that energy into our bodies. And then turning the palms out and sending it sending healing energy out into the world, to anywhere where you feel like it could be of benefit, to people suffering, people having all kinds of experiences that are difficult. We don't have to hold on to energy. We don't have to hold on to our beliefs. Good. Okay. Well, I want to thank you all for being here and hope you have a great rest of your week. And then we're going to sign off. Thank you again. And feel free to contact me anytime if you have any questions. Namaste. Peace. Take care. Let's see where it is. Oh, yes.